Hi everyone, Avish Trutu here, and in this demonstration I will be working with four virtual machines that of Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows Server 2008, and Windows 7. Right now, I will be showing how to properly configure the Ethernet settings and the TCP/IP configuration so that each of these virtual machines could properly see each other on the network. Right now, before I jump into the actual Windows configuration, there is a setting that must be changed then in each of the virtual machines so that the network functions as it should. Right now, I click on the settings here on the Windows Server 2000 in this case. Right now, I look for the network area. Now it's to the left here. Now if you'll see the under attached to, it should be host only adapter. Right, this will be the only virtual this will be the only virtual adapter here, so nothing to change. We will change the promiscuous mode to allow all. Right, and then select OK. Right. Now into the Windows aspect of it, so I will go to network sharing center, right, where I will manage network connections. Right click on the network adapter available, select properties, internet protocol version 4, right, properties, and now this gives me the option to enter static settings. Right, so in this case I will use 192.168.0 let's go with 10. Right, so I don't need any default gateway at this time. The preferred DNS server will be 192.168.0.10. For the alternate DNS server, I can just leave it as the loopback address, which would be 192.127.0.0.1. Right, and I select OK there, close that. Right, now one other thing with this is that I must make sure that all the network discovery and file print and sharing and everything is on, right? So here I will turn on network discovery, apply, right? I'll say yes, turn it on for public networks. Right, so this enables Windows Server 2008 to be seen by all other virtual machines that are on the same network or subnet in this case. Right, so I exit that. So next I'll now minimize Windows Server 2008 VM and bring up, well, let's work with Windows 7. Right, right. So just as we saw in the previous VM, we alter the settings on the virtual machine itself with on the network where it will be host only adapter, and well, of course this remains unchanged. Promiscuous mode again would be allow all, so select OK for that one. Right, then we jump into the Windows configuration by opening the network and sharing center. Right there I would go to change adapter settings, right click, properties, internet protocol version, properties there, and select it to enter everything manually. So in this one I'll use .20. Let's say .0.20, as Windows Server 2008 was 10. So I will set the default gateway to that of Windows Server 2008, which would be 10. Preferred DNS server would be 192.168.0.10. Alternate, same as before, that would be the loopback address 127.0.0.1. So I just click OK there, and I leave that to those settings to reflect. So next I will minimize this. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me just ensure that my file and printer sharing and everything is enabled. Right, so the network discovery, file and printer sharing, right, good. So everything is in check there, right? If it is not on your end, please do so, or else your network will not be able to see one another, right? Um, Good. So that is in check. I will now minimize Windows 7 and open up Windows Vista. Right. So here again we check the settings on the network, right? Just to make sure it's on the host only adapter, followed by VirtualBox host adapter, and the promiscuous mode to be allow all. So on doing so, click OK. Right click on the network indicator here, network and sharing center. Alright, manage network connection settings. Right click on the adapter, properties, internet protocol, and now again to be able to enter static settings. So as Windows 7 was .20, I'll use .30 for here. So 192.168.0.30. Right, default gateway to be 192.168.0.10. That's the point to Windows Server 2008. So the DNS server would be 192.168.0.10. Loopback address again. Right. So select OK there. Right. Now just make sure that all of the file and printer sharing settings and everything on the network discovery is on. As indicated here, it's on. Right. So if it's on off, you just select that to on and you're good to go. Nice. Well, we have no printer and everything, so those will be faded out. Password protected sharing. I can take this off for a while since we won't be needing it. Right. Nice. So all is well with that. I can now minimize Vista. Now for the last virtual machine, which will be that of XP. Now XP was a bit of a tricky one. Right. So in this case, well, again, we go to the settings just to ensure that our network configurations is as it should be on the host only adapter, promiscuous mode to all, and well, your virtual Ethernet adapter. Right, so once that is in check, let's close that off. Now open network connections, where you'll see the only network adapter there, properties. In this one, you have Internet Protocol, which is different from that of Windows Server, Windows 7, sorry, and Windows Vista, where you saw it listed as something else, right? Although it does the same function pretty much, right? So I will now enter in this one as being 40, 192.168.0.40. Right, default gateway to be 192.168.0.10. The DNS server, the primary to be 192.168.0.10 as well. And then, well, just the loopback address just for the secondary one. Right, so all seems to be well there. Okay, so with all our network discoveries on and all of the, well, the virtual machines under the same configurations or all pointing to one another, I will just bring up all of the virtual machines at the same time so that you, the viewer, can see what I am talking about. Okay, which one didn't I have? Windows 7, yes, yes, yeah, very good. So all of them are there. Nice. Right, so I will now just go back into wrong tab. Right, so I go back into network. So where I should see everything now being loaded, but it's not right. Good, great. So you see all of the computers here have populated. It should be just the same with Server 2008, where yes, lovely. Same for Windows Vista. You see all of them, nice. And then we have the last one, XP. So my network places. Great. So all of my virtual machines now are all seeing each other and are interconnected, right? So basically that concludes how you configure the TCP/IP settings and the Ethernet adapter settings for Windows Server 2008 and, well, in this case, three other virtual machines using different operating systems that share different interfaces, right? So, well, we saw all of them were seeing each other, and that would be it. Now, this allows for me to properly set up a domain on Windows Server 2008, or in other words, promote Windows Server 2008 to a domain controller, the, well, thus having Windows XP or even 7 or Vista to connect to that domain as a result of them seeing each other. Alright, so this concludes this video. Right, thank you for viewing. Bye bye.